Hey, he's Enzo.
And she's Claire.
And this is Too Long for a Voice Note, episode number
13! It's opera!
Hello, everybody!
Hi, guys. Welcome to our episode number, as you hear, 13. It's such a cool number, right? Intense number.
Lucky for some.
Yeah, I like that number.
I like it too.
It's a cool number.
Exactly, alternative.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited to film this week.
Yeah, me too.
Episode. It's
a bit lighter maybe from last week. We want to say thank you so much to everybody who gave us feedback last week, and we're so happy that you guys are continuing to listen every week, so thank you for your ongoing support.
So exciting.
Always, we're on every single platform that you can listen to a podcast on ever in the world.
Don't forget to leave us comments.
Exactly. Please
so
do
cool.
keep in touch.
Yeah.
So, anything interesting happened for you this week, Enzo?
To be honest, not a lot. It's been very I think a lot of work this week.
Really?
But it's been fine. And cleaning, very exciting. I think I cook a lot. I always cook. I'm always cooking, but this week I think I was very I did a lasagna in the middle of the week, like an aubergine lasagna kind of thing. I went there, I'm gonna do this, but it's very relaxing, so it's cool to
It's like meditation for you, isn't
it? It is very meditation, so that's good.
I think it's important to find those things.
Yeah, just looking forward to being a bit more free.
Oh gosh, yes.
How's been your week?
Excited. Yeah, it's actually been good. Just standard work, etc. I actually watched a really good film last night.
Oh really? What did you watch?
Minari.
I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, it's up for the. It's nominated for an Oscar actually.
Cool.
It's actually like a Korean American film, but it's not classed as a foreign film. It's like an American film.
Okay.
But it's got Steven Yeun in it, who you might recognize. He was in the Walking Dead. He's a Korean American actor.
I know.
But it's about a family. They're Korean American. I mean, the parents are Korean. The kids are basically born in America. But they move to a farm and try and kind of make a life for themselves. It's a really beautiful film, and he's been nominated for Best Actor. The grandma is Best Supporting Actress, and also Best Film, Best Director as well.
Is it available on Netflix? On Netflix is my own platform, guys. Netflix on Netflix.
That's so cute.
Netflix or Amazon, or where we can find it.
It might be available if you search for it online on different websites. Know what I'm saying?
Illegal stuff.
So I did not say that, but that's what I may be saying to you.
Okay, I will look for it in different ways, alternative ways.
Exactly.
It sounds cool. Yeah,
it's really beautiful. You will like it. It's very peaceful.
That's cool.
The little kid. Oh, he's such a little munchkin. One of the little kids. It's a very cute film. So that was probably the highlight of the week, to be honest.
Well, I mean, at least something.
Exactly, something. Yeah, good. I like it when all the films come out for Oscars.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, well, so here we are. We're ready to discuss about fun stuff. I don't know if everything's fun, but whatever.
Well, we're back to our secret topics of the week.
Yeah, we're back to our normal, how you say it on TV, our normal, regular programming. We're back to it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Enzo's secret topic of the week. So, Claire, my topic, I wanted to talk about really light, and even though it's something that already, basically, I want to talk about the Grammys.
Oh,
the Grammy Awards.
Okay.
Even though if you're probably gonna listen to this on next Wednesday, so it's gonna be like a week and a half after the event. But I think it's cool to talk about it, and there's something about this special year which is really interesting, and I think it really fits the whole Women's Month.
Of course, we're still in Women's Month, International Women's Month.
Exactly, that's really cool, and it fits because this is it was a particular good edition of the Grammys for women, and I have some numbers here to share with you. So basically, this Grammy by nominations alone, it was Beyonce and Dua Lipa were the most nominated of every single artist on the show this year. So that was really cool, female power, blah blah blah, and yeah, some cool stuff happened in the middle. Beyonce, she broke a record. Yes. She's the woman with most Grammys ever. She has 28 Grammys. So it's really cool that it was Beyonce. Even though I have my opinions about the Grammys and Beyonce, I know she's a favorite, and sometimes I feel they give her any type of Grammy. I don't want to take the credit out of her, but I know how the Grammys are. They're very like industry oriented, and the favorites are always Taylor Swift and Beyonce. A lot of people have issues with that,
Right.
but it doesn't take the credit. At the end of the day, Beyonce's a really good artist, and she deserves it. But it's really cool that she has the person with most Grammys is a woman. So that's like really nice.
Yeah.
We have many other cool stuff like Megan Thee Stallion. She also a woman, of course. She won like Best New Artist, and she won 2 Grammys more. One of them with Beyonce for the collaboration they have.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Like Taylor Swift has now tied the record for the most album of the year ever with Frank Sinatra and Stevie Wonder. So she has like won album of the year for like 3 times in a row, something like that. So it's amazing for Taylor Swift as well. And yeah, I thought that was really like cool. Like this month specifically, all of this happened, and like women are getting recognition that they deserve. So it's really good because it was very like female driven like year. So yeah.
Did Beyonce win a Grammy? She didn't win a Grammy this year. She just broke a record, or she won a Grammy.
She broke the record because she won this year. She won
with Megan Thee Stallion.
And also she won like a random Grammy like music video, which her daughter also was part of it.
Oh, because she did Black is King.
Yeah. So it's not like it's a random video, but I don't think the video is as amazing. But I guess the message is good, so that's okay.
I remember.
So her daughter like also got a Grammy out of it, which is funny.
She was like the youngest ever person to win a Grammy or something
like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, for me with the Grammy, it's a bit like like I know some people have issues with the Grammy, especially the last 10 years. It seems to be very like industry involved.
Okay.
It's very like you need to have the right contacts. By the way, there was like a huge controversy with The Weeknd.
With The Weeknd, I was going to say.
Because The Weeknd didn't get nominated, which was a surprise.
Because The Weeknd has never been nominated, right? Or
I'm not sure. I think he has.
But because I saw something that popped up that said, he said, I will not be attending the Grammys.
Yeah, he said like, he said like, I will talk with my team. I will never send my stuff again to the Grammys. But there were things saying like, Grammys at the end are very like business alike. So maybe his manager or somebody on his team or somebody didn't like something and they decided to snub him. That's a possibility, because at the end of the day, the problem with the Grammys is they're very like sales oriented the last few years.
Yeah,
so if you sell a lot, you're going to win a Grammy, which is a bit sad because, it's not always about the quality. But they were surprised, obviously, by The Weeknd because he has like, the most selling song last year. So why he got nominated? So anyway, but...
I mean, awards at the end of the day, it's like the Oscars, like it doesn't really mean much. It's nice for people to be recognised, but they are a business thing ultimately. Like we all know that. I think they were... I watched some highlights of the
They watched the performances.
Oh, I watched some of them. So I saw
Tell me.
I saw the Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Which was another controversy, of course.
Of course, another controversy. So what happened was that so you guys, after this, I'm going to leave a link, but we did an episode about the WAP controversy, the music video. WAP meaning wet ass pussy.
Yeah. Wet ass pussy. Na 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 in the wet ass pussy.
So they decided to bleep that.
Because
America. That they let them perform, but they basically blocked it, didn't they?
On TV, on everything, yeah.
Blocked it on TV, and then again, Cardi B had to kind of like explain why she like says that or something, or like what do they make her?
The thing is, like, she has an issue with like I think she's like a TV presenter or like a journalist that was speaking about her. This created like a whole drama. A lot of like media outlets were like again going to her like blah 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 this song. And at the end, she replied like, this is like I was on TV 10 p.m. This song is not for kids, so your kids shouldn't be watching this anyway because it's 10 p.m. on a Sunday. So why you? It's not my responsibility to like raise your children. Like
exactly.
So like people were very concerned about this because they feel like it's too explicit, like the values, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, Claire, it's like, man, you can tell. Eminem, for example, Eminem's being like singing the songs and creating these videos very derogative towards women his whole career. I have nothing against Eminem. I like some of his songs, but that's the truth. He's not the most respectful man towards women, and he's been always successful. He's always been displayed everywhere. His music videos are prized. He had lots of Grammys, so it's like.
Well, yeah, with like all male artists as well. Like it's always the same case that we always talk about.
It's the same
women
case.
are held to a higher and harder standards, like all along. But anyway, that aside, I love that performance. It was really great, and they're both really great live. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Yeah.
Then also, obviously, Dua Lipa.
She went for it.
I recommend you guys watching that because I mean, not that this is the only thing because she's super talented, but she's just so stunning.
It's incredible.
She's so pretty, honestly.
It's incredible,
like, wow. And she does like this amazing like 10-minute performance of like a few of the songs kind of merged.
Yeah. It's really good. I feel like personally, even though like I believe that she grown so much as an artist, and I think now she's showing more like I'm a pop star in your face. I think back in the day she was a bit more about the singing, but it's fine. I think you know that she can sing.
I get you.
You know that the performance is not about much about what a vocal talented woman she is. It's more about like I'm a pop star.
Like I'm a good dancer. I'm a performer.
I'm a performer, which is totally fine.
I
just wanted to point it out because I feel like if this is the first time watching a Dua Lipa performance, you may be like, oh yeah, she's talented, but maybe normal voice, but she's actually a really good singer. But
she's a really good
I think there was
singer.
her time to show that she was the whole package kind of thing.
I also feel like with Dua Lipa, like I don't really know anything about her or about her life, but I feel like she's going through some kind of like awakening or like some kind of like confidence, like sexual, like owning like her sexual power thing because she's so like body confident in a way that I didn't see in the past.
True,
with her.
that's very true.
I mean, of course, she's probably super young still, so it might just be like a confidence thing. But
she's 24, I think.
Crazy, like, but her outfit was like, like
she was like,
looking.
This is my day,
and it was so like refreshing. She has a really nice energy, Dua Lipa. So you kind of like root for her, or at least you're always like, you go girl, like she's just
you
such a
do
like
it, you break that.
Literally, it was so great.
Her performances, I think, is the most watched on the YouTube channel. It's like it had like 22 millions already of views. It was the most like talk.
I also loved
Billie Eilish also performed.
Billie Eilish, I haven't seen Billie Eilish's performance. What
it was very nice. Everything I Wanted. It was really pretty. Her voice is getting, I think because she's getting older, her voice is getting more mature and beautiful, and you are like, wow, her voice is getting into a new level, like it's getting even better.
No,
I think we're about to see like something good with her in the future vocally. I think she's going to places.
I love Billie Eilish. She's amazing. I obviously loved Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny
is a personal favorite. I mean, talk about how like men are allowed to say sexist things. I love Bad Bunny, but like we know reggaeton like
and no business, like.
Exactly. What is he even saying? Because he sang. How do you pronounce it?
I guess the Kitri. I always forget the name of the song.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it means, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
I never researched. I think it's not even like. I don't know if it's. What is it?
I don't know. But the lyrics are like, I want to be on the beach and on the sun,
to be honest, that song is not as
groundbreaking.
No, like it's not sexist or anything in that way. I think it's a good song. It's like it's not that extreme. Got you. But yeah, at the end, I think men always has a free pass. But it's good. He won a Grammy as well, so good for
Latin artist.
I think
right?
Urban album or something like that. Okay. So good for him. He deserves it for sure.
He really deserves it. Bad Bunny is like one of our personal faves.
Yeah.
And like
they were like
so good.
Some of the winners I have here, like I wanted to just to mention, like for people who has an idea and they can maybe go and check for these albums or songs if they haven't too. Like record of the year was for Billie Eilish for Everything I Wanted, which is really nice for her.
She was really cute as well when she accepted the award. She was saying like, "Oh, Megan Thee Stallion, like I thought you were gonna get it. Like you really deserve this as well." And like she seems really. She's
very refreshing because she's very young, but she doesn't seem to be like. There's nothing like pretentious on her.
Good head on her shoulders.
Yeah. And she's very like she's not afraid to show like what she feels. That's cool. And I think that she connects with young people so well.
She's very mature though.
She's very mature, so it's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have like album of the year was Folklore by Taylor Swift. I know you're not a big fan of Taylor Swift, right? You're like
not really. I have nothing against Taylor, but she's just not my kind of music.
The album is really like I've never been a huge fan of Taylor Swift, but with these last two albums, because she released two like back to back, that's like she never done something like that before, and it's more like folky pop, but more folk, not as much country. It's more folk. I think I would categorize it like that, and the lyrics are really good, and the production is very like dreamy, soft, very earthy sounds. It's really like I think she's getting like, you know, she's a mature moment. Doesn't mean that she doesn't mean like making pop or dance around is bad or good. It's just like this is like a different version of her.
Yeah.
I think she actually deserves it. Even though she's always winning every type of Grammy, like Grammy loves Taylor Swift as much as Beyonce, but I think this time it's good that she got it. So
for sure.
There's also like R&B performance. It was Black Parade by Beyonce, which is one of the songs from the film, which is really good. Pop vocal album was Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. So she won her Grammy. She has, I think, 3 Grammys now, which is so good for her. And yeah, we got like new artists, which was Megan Thee Stallion, and we have Fiona Apple. She bought like Brock performance. Savage by Megan Thee Stallion, also rap performance, and also Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, they won for pop duo group performance for Rain on Me. You know the song, like Rain on Me. I'm not a fan of it, but you know, people love the song, and like I'm such a huge fan of it, but it was kind of like people were expecting them to win the Grammy, so it's good for them. So yeah, I think it was interesting. Also, like they were a bit funny this year because they had no audience. They have like a really limited amount of people, and the performance were like, and you feel like they were like an empty room kind of thing.
A bit flat when everyone finished, and it was like, yeah.
Like 2 people, like you go, girl.
I know what you mean.
But
it must be really interesting to perform in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I really like Megan Thee Stallion. She's a really good rapper. She's really, really good. You're not a big fan of rap though, right?
I really like, my thing with Megan Thee Stallion is, like, I feel she's way better on recording than live. I think her energy live, it's really good. But, like, her energy overall. But I think her rapping live, I think she lip syncs a lot, and I don't know. The thing is, my standard for rapping, I mean, like modern standard, is like Nicki Minaj, and I think Nicki Minaj is really good live rapping. If you see her performance, it's like boom, and like the energy is like it's more like, I think performance-wise, Nicki Minaj is way better than Cardi B or like Megan Thee Stallion. But I think Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, which is cool. I think they're proving like they can be more than a rapper. It's not like Nicki Minaj hasn't, but they're very like, you know, Cardi B was like dancing for 5 minutes on this performance of WAP, and she was doing like this and that, and it was a production. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a rapper, I'm just gonna rap around like very back in the day. No, they're showing like they can have a lot of versatility. Like I can dance if I want, I can rap if I want, blah blah blah. But I like Megan. I'm not still super sold to her like 100%, but do you like her a lot? Like,
I do like her. I mean, I'm not listening to her super regularly, to be honest. Like, she's not on my like constant replays or anything. But she has a really nice personality.
True.
I watched a few of her videos. Like, I like what she stands for.
True.
That kind of strength, and I just find her quite refreshing.
It is. She is as a person. She's like refreshing.
Like, ooh, you know, and like she's. I just that kind of.
I find so cool about her. Like, she's such a Beyonce fan, and there's like tweets around for her from back in the day, like, oh, like, hope one day I can make it kind of thing, you know. Like, she was from a Beyonce fan, and now the fact that she managed to have a song with Beyonce and like they win together at Grammy, that must be like, fuck, these kind of things can happen to you if you push enough. And she's been pushing, like, I think 2014, she's been like working on that hard to get where she is now, so that's really good for her, and
I
she
think
deserves
that's what
it.
I like about her as well, because when she accepted her Grammy, I don't think she realised that Beyonce was there as well, and Beyonce just, and she's kind of like, and like her reaction seems genuinely like, oh my god, it's Beyonce. She's literally like, I'm next to Beyonce
at the end of the day,
got a really nice kind of like,
it's your idol.
Down to earth like kind of energy with Megan Thee Stallion, I find.
It's so cool.
I also love her confidence. I think, you know, and I think that will continue to grow
for sure. Yeah, she's just starting, so it's good. Definitely. I think it was really good Grammy Awards, and I'm really happy that women represent. I think especially this year and what everything is happening, I think it's a good time like to see women like winning, thriving, and proving like they are like doing their best and being recognized. It's not because men doesn't deserve it, but I think particularly this year it was a good time. Also because all the winners that deserve it, someone like Dua, Megan, Billie, I mean, they're doing like amazing, and they're doing above and beyond with their music and the videos and the artistry. So
I think as well, it's like a good representation of different styles and different women. You've got like Billie Eilish and Megan Thee Stallion couldn't be more different.
You're so right.
And it's like, it's really nice to see a variety of women getting recognised.
Also, Dua Lipa not even being American, she's being from here, so that's
British.
so cool. British.
So yeah, she's I always think that about Dua Lipa. From like, she's from like bloody like Hammersmith, I believe, or something
So
like that.
so
It's like, I'm
random.
like, you go. Not that we live in some like really small country, but like, she's done well for herself.
She's done well, and she's always growing, so that's amazing.
Definitely. No, really
So
enjoyed.
let's see what, for me, like Dua Lipa, she deserves. I mean, from her album was my pandemic album. Like that album, just like it was just out beginning of the pandemic, and that was so fresh. And if you really like, I think if you're a music fan, or even if you're not even a big fan of pop music, you will like this album. Very well produced, very like throwback with a modern twist. So I think it's very like, even my brother. Hello, brother, if you listen to, because my brother, he doesn't is into like pop as much, but he really likes Dua Lipa, which is funny in many ways because obviously she's so beautiful, but also like the music and like everything that's behind the album, he really likes it. Though that's cool.
If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody,
and like the don't show up, like the bass, like the
I love the like.
That's
Did the heartbreak change me?
It's so cool. Hey.
It's literally like, whoever broke her heart is like, fuck you, I want 1 million Grammys. Thanks for the inspo. Thank you.
Literally.
She writes her own songs, right?
Yeah. She writes her own songs.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. She produced some of them as well. She's really like.
I can't wait to be out and dancing to Dua Lipa. And
her concerts in London is like end of the year. I don't even want to go to like buy a ticket because I don't know if that will happen. But I think it's like September, October.
Oh.
Imagine if we could like,
be so
we're gonna get me the vaccine, get me
both
everything
of them.
at the same time. I wanna dance Dua Lipa.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, that's good for like.
Love.
Well, you like it, and I hope everybody who's like listened to this check the music and the winners because they're worth it.
For sure.
Yes.
And tell us what your favorite performance was.
Yes.
If you
we missed some of the performance because there are a lot, but
we'll
cover the main ones, I guess. Yeah. So
Okay.
are we ready for the nuts topic?
Claire's secret topic of the week. Well, my topic is a little bit different in tone, but we can connect it somehow.
A little bit different.
So I want to talk a little bit about endometriosis.
Cool.
So,
well, not cool. Sounds like cool.
And so it's like, oh, pain.
No, but like interesting because
Yeah.
it's a pending topic because we like talk about your endometriosis a few times, like in our regular life.
In our own. I don't think we've ever brought it up on the podcast.
Not on the
before,
podcast,
have
no,
we?
yeah.
No. So,
but I think we talk about this like
we
on
do.
a
Poor
real
Enzo,
life.
Poor Enzo gets told constant updates on my ovaries every single month. So for those of you who don't know, it's actually Endometriosis Awareness Month this month, the month of March. So it goes hand in hand with International Women's Month as well. So endometriosis is a chronic disease. I'm saying it this way. I'm really trying to keep it light.
Chronic
it's
disease.
a disease. And so now like, we're going to have a light episode this week. And
Bombs.
But yeah, so I mean, just to say at the top, I have endometriosis. So I'll explain what it is, and then maybe I'll explain a little bit about
your
my
experience.
kind of journey, and then we'll talk around it a little bit more, and so can ask any questions and stuff.
Yeah, a Q&A.
Exactly. So endometriosis, it actually affects 1 in 10 women of reproductive age in the UK.
Wow.
10% of women worldwide have endometriosis. That's 176 million worldwide. And that's obviously not counting women who aren't diagnosed with it.
Yeah, for sure.
What it actually is as well, it's a gynecological condition, which is where the tissue, endometrial tissue that would normally be present in the womb grows elsewhere in the body. So typically... it will grow on your ovaries. It can actually grow on your bowel. It can grow in some conditions on your heart.
Oh, really?
It can travel.
I didn't know that. I thought it was only like on your like reproductive system.
Yeah, exactly. That absolutely scared the living crap out of me when I heard that. Excuse me. It's very common to be on the bowel though. It can be, obviously on the womb, all of that kind of thing. So the typical symptoms of endometriosis are that it's incredibly painful when you menstruate. Trouble getting pregnant, painful sex, bloating, tiredness, all of that kind of stuff. So that's just a little bit about it. And I think also I wanted to bring this up because, you know, my best friend and I were saying, like, you know, she was saying, I didn't know anyone who had endometriosis before you. And then when I say it to people, people say, oh yeah, my cousin has it, my sister has it, I have PCOS, blah, blah, blah. And this is why any opportunity that I can to kind of bring some awareness to this. So, you know, if you're listening in any of this, you know, to our female listeners, obviously, if any, or any guys out there, you know, your girlfriends, your partners, sisters, etc.
Whatever.
Because I think these things aren't talked about enough, and there's a lot of shame around them.
Do you feel it's a bit of like, like shame, a bit like a taboo kind of topic, like people don't like to talk about it?
I think so. I think it's... go ahead.
No, because I feel like even like things like menstruation is a bit like a taboo thing. People don't like to talk about this for some reason. I feel like it's so like, why? If it's as normal as any other things that happen with your body. I feel like it's part of how like, that's my experience. I feel like women tends to like avoid those topics because probably they want to make anybody uncomfortable, or because people will make them feel uncomfortable.
Women have definitely been told, because it's kind of like a societal thing, isn't it? Like, you should hide your period, you should kind of be ashamed of it, you should... I don't know how it is in Venezuela, but it's like a really well-known thing. We would always joke about it, about how when you were at school, we used to like shove pads up our sleeve that we would like run secretly to the bathroom and like change our pad. And it's like, why? It's
always like a little shame.
Yeah, like and
it's not good, it's not okay.
It's dirty, it's gross, like you need to be shunned. I mean, obviously there's like stuff in the Bible that said like you should be like shoved, and like the women should like exit like the village.
Please guide the Bible, please.
For example, and so like, don't bring that up.
Exit the village is the Jesus Christ.
But like that's how, you know, that's how it is. And so
culturally.
That's kind of how I think it's been, you know, that you should be outside and you should hide it, and it shouldn't be something that you talk about. And this is where we get into problems like this. I believe, and I mean, there's so many other things around it.
When do you realize, or how it was the day you were like, oh my God, I feel like really bad, I need to do something about this? How it was your process to realize you got this, you have this?
I'll leave a link to the cards if you're watching on YouTube I did a YouTube video kind of explaining my endometriosis journey. It's like I do cry a lot about like my vagina, so if you're up for that, please do get ready. I'm literally like,
beware.
I explain. But yeah, I mean, it was a long journey. I mean, I got my period really young. So I got my period when I was 10, which is really young. Like, girls normally get their period at like 12 or 13.
Yeah, 10, But
it's actually really common for women with endometriosis to get your period quite young. I always suffered with my periods. And this is one thing that I want to say. I always thought it was normal. I thought it was normal to have painful periods. And I mean, I used to be like screaming in my bed in agony. Like, my mum had to like lie with me until like the painkillers kicked in.
Jesus Christ.
And I just thought it was normal. And I think this isn't to say anything bad about my mum, because it's all just what you know.
Generation.
But she would say like, I used to have really bad periods. Your grandma used to have really bad periods. It's just normal. But in hindsight, they both probably had endometriosis because also it is hereditary endometriosis. So, and both my mum and grandma had miscarriages as well.
So it's connected. So it's kind of like, oh, it is how it is. You need to suffer with that. Back in the day was more or less in many, many conditions and diseases were like that. And on top of that, something like that is related to your like organs, or like, you know, it probably would be like, let's not talk about this. You just, as a woman, you go with this. And
you deal with it. And it is what it is. So I always thought it was normal. Then when I became sexually active, I always found sex quite painful. I felt like this was just normal. I didn't like penetration. It always was like a struggle, to be honest. Again, I just thought it was normal. Then I had loads of problems with gluten and, you know, like with bloating and I couldn't work it out. And this was similar like the time around that I went vegan.
Interesting.
So I was changing my diet. I was like, there's something not right. And I think a lot of women have this, and a lot of women who have endometriosis get misdiagnosed with IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, because it's quite hard to diagnose endometriosis. I'll go into that in a second as to how you actually get a diagnosis. But I couldn't figure it out, but I knew something was wrong. And it was actually pure vanity that got me, that made me figure this out. So I was working as an actress at the time, as you know, and I had really, really bad acne.
Okay.
And it was getting me so down because I was like, I can't go into an audition like this, and it was bad. And I never had skin problems before. So I started working with a natural doctor, a naturopath, and I told her that I had really bad periods, and she said, like, that is just not normal. Like, the amount that you're bleeding, like that you're in bed the first day, you can't work out.
It shouldn't be like that.
It's not normal. So I basically started, my mum had also heard of somebody who had endometriosis and thought that that was something that I had. So I went to the GP kind of like armed with this knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'd also heard, you know, I don't know if you guys know Lena Dunham, you know, the writer of Girls.
The writer,
She's been very outspoken about her journey with endometriosis.
Interesting. So that really like...
So it was really in my mind. And I was like, this feels like I have this.
That's what's important to talk about this stuff, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And because thanks to Lena Dunham, I kind of was like, okay,
Finally.
Right. So she's posting on Instagram about this and this. And really sadly, I mean, I don't know if it's sadly, but she ended up having a hysterectomy. She had stage 4 endometriosis. It was really, really bad. So so I went to the GP and I was like, I have really bad periods. I think I have endometriosis, and then got the ball rolling. But it was loads of really, really unpleasant procedures, like an internal ultrasound. So guys, you're fully awake. Not an external ultrasound. I've had that before, which is what you have when you have a baby. So the external, but it's like a stick. They put something on it that they say is not a condom. But it is a condom. I was like, okay, cool, yeah.
I'm being like penetrated by this machine. Thank you, Robert.
And it goes really high up. It was really fucking painful. I've had that twice, and that was probably my least favourite thing. And it goes in, and you have a look, and then from that they can see, you know, that I had like a few cysts on my ovaries. So I have like polycystic ovaries as well, like multiple cysts basically. All that means with endometriosis. And then I met this really nice woman, endometriosis specialist in a hospital in London Bridge.
Nice.
And she said, like, I think you have endometriosis. I would really recommend
like a surgery.
You going for a surgery. Yeah. So the only way to fully diagnose you having endometriosis is to have an operation.
Oh, is that complicated to diagnose it? Oh my God.
So all you can see from an ultrasound is that you have cysts. They can tell that you have a mass or something, but they can say, I think you have endo.
Yeah.
Do you want to just like deal with it? Or we can go in and we can tell you that you have endo. So I decided to go for the surgery. This was July 2017.
A couple of years now.
3 years ago. And I'm really glad that I did it, but it was quite an ordeal, to be honest, having that laparoscopy. So I'd never had an anaesthetic before, so I was so scared. You know, you go in, you operate on you, they cut me 4 times, and then they like inflate your abdomen. Obviously, you're completely knocked out. But really, the most stressful thing was being knocked out, and not knocked out, like physically knocked out.
Claire, we're going 1, 2, 3. And this is the dog. It's like running in the 50s, not even like in the 30s. This is how you're gonna like fall asleep for like an hour, baby. That's how we're gonna do it.
It was just so funny, you know, because they were like, you need to be really calm down, like your heart rate's going really high.
That's so fucking creepy. It's
so
scary.
And they were like, think about happy
and then
things.
You switch.
Well, yeah, they were
you
like,
don't remember anything until you wake up, right?
Yeah, they were like,
so
think.
Scary.
They were like, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts.
You were like,
so
puppies.
Literally, I was like, puppies, baby puppies, puppies. And then I wake up, you're in a different room.
That's
because I can see it now. I remember then there was like the anaesthetist and then the anaesthetist assistant, and then, you know, there's kind of like those sort of like plastic doors, and they're kind of like dragging you through, and they're looking at you, and then you're completely out, and then you wake up, and then you're like,
what?
It was like a different nurse, and then
that's so crazy. Like,
it's really creepy. And then because the clock was right in front of me as well, I was like, oh fuck, it's like an hour later, and I have literally no memory.
And you're like, oh, I'm awake.
It's crazy.
That's actually really creepy because you don't know what's gonna happen to yourself. Like literally, it's like sleep. You go to sleep and
I've got like a new personality.
You're like totally different. It's like, what's my name? My name is Clara. No, it's like, okay.
My name is Clarita.
Yes, Clarita, and I'm from
and my
somewhere.
mom's like, okay. So you're from Northwest London.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Like, why did they do her? Is she okay? After that, like, then you just like kept with your normal life. Like after you actually see like improvement of your health.
Yeah. So I did have endometriosis.
Exactly. That
like
was
stage 1 endometriosis.
Luckily,
like really lucky, like the lowest. This is one thing about endometriosis that's scary as well. You can have stage 4, which is the worst, but have no symptoms and no pain. You just say you can't get pregnant, and then they find that it's a hot mess in there.
Yeah.
You can be like me. of course, pain is relative, so you have no idea. But to be honest, I would say it's pretty fucking painful what I experienced. But I have I just have endometriosis on my ovaries. It wasn't on my
other
womb or my bowel or anything like that. So you can be completely asymptomatic.
That's the crazy asymptomatic.
So you have to be very careful. I think it was a really rough time for me, to be honest, because the thing about endometriosis is like it's a chronic disease. It's never going to go away. So I will always have it. And that is something, they give you different options. For example, they offered to fit a coil into my vagina.
Okay.
When? I don't know when you to
I'm like, okay, where we're going?
Just like, please.
I'm like,
please no. So, and I said no because, the coil. I mean, I've had so many horror stories. Like, I was just not up for that. I did go on the pill because, the pill is basically, obviously, like a hormonal way to treat it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually stop the endometriosis. All it does is it stops you experiencing it. It's experiencing the pain. So for me, that was like putting a plaster on a wound.
It's like a painkiller.
Yeah,
which
literally.
Is like just,
and all the horrific side effects of the pill. If anybody wants me to talk about why I don't like the pill, I will.
I will, so get ready.
Everyone's like, nobody wants that, but okay, just say the word.
Yeah.
So it's really shit, to be honest, because you're like, you have a chronic disease, here you go. On one hand, I was great. There's, it's not what I was eating. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. It was something that I was doing wrong. I do have a disease, so at least I had an answer. On average, it takes women about 7 years to get a diagnosis for their endometriosis. So I got my diagnosis within a year of me going to that first GP appointment. But I have to say, I was incredibly pushy. And I was like, I want a lab, I want an internal ultrasound. I want this. I think I have endometriosis. Because doctors... I don't know how it is around the world, but here in the UK, I don't want to be like generalized, but my experience has been that as a woman, you're not always like listened to or believed. So it's best just to, my approach was just like, ask for it, arm yourself with as much information as possible.
So I was listening to another podcast and the other day, well, in this podcast, one of the hosts, she has a chronic disease. She has a few, I think, like 2. It's like a whole situation. But where I'm going with this is, like she said, like chronic disease, sometimes they define yourself and they shape yourself in many ways. And for some people, it's difficult to like be yourself and not being like just, it's like, I'm not a disease. It's just you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because some people, when it's obviously some diseases are really, 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 really bad, so they become the disease in a way, and that's their identity somehow. Do you feel like having endometriosis really affects you or shape you in some type of way that you have to fight to it, or how? Because it affects your regular life. It affects how you. It's pain at the end of the day. It's something like if it's really bad, it may affect you like in a psychological way or whatever. So do you feel it shape you in any way? Having this?
Yeah, I think it does. And I think I'm really lucky in a sense because I can basically forget that I have an illness throughout the entire month, apart from when I'm bleeding.
Yeah. So
that's when I do get really down because I mean, I say it to poor Enzo, like has to listen to me, like how, when I'm on my period, I think what I find really hard is that like my mood really dips. My mood dips because it like physically does dip, but also I'm reminded that I have an illness, whereas like the other 3 weeks of the month I'm able to forget. Whereas I know a lot of women with endo, they aren't so lucky. They're not like that. They have pain, they have back pain, thigh pain, bloating. Whereas like my stomach is pretty much flat the entire month. Everything is okay, and loads of those other symptoms that I mentioned did get better after I had my surgery, like intercourse less painful, like less bloating, like the acne went away weirdly, all of that kind of stuff. So I think I'm kind of the opposite. Like I have a very, very hard time accepting that. I will never say I'm a sick person.
I get it.
That's just not my personality. I mean, you know how I am, and it's like I will never, and that's why I get down, because when I can't work out because I'm really fucking tired because I've been bleeding a lot, it gets me down, because normally I'm like super active, like I'm on my Pamela's, like I'm walking and everything, and when I feel like a different person when I'm on my period, and that's
I can
really painful.
Because somehow I think it's a reminder of like there's something there that you need to
Yeah.
acknowledge, and I'm here every month. But it's good that your approach is like, also because you don't feel bad the rest of the month.
Exactly.
You're lucky in that
Yeah.
sense.
I also think as well, like, I don't know how I would cope with this if I wasn't vegan and like super. I tried to be super healthy. I'm not
healthy.
the healthiest, but I tried to be pretty
Yeah.
healthy, and like because I think another one of my main symptoms as well, and I think this is one that people don't talk about a lot, is the extreme tiredness that goes with endometriosis, and that is something that I think I do have all month long. There will be times, I know I push myself a lot, but there will be times where I'm like really, really tired when I'm not bleeding.
Yeah.
And I think that is because, you know, at the end of the day, like endometriosis is an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
It makes
And,
sense,
you know,
yeah.
there was like a warning that was going out for women with endo when COVID was happening because, you know, you can have a bad reaction to it. So, yeah, and because of the food that I eat, I feel like it gives me a lot of energy. So I don't know how I would cope with it if
you weren't
wasn't
like that healthy and that aware of that.
I think I found it hard after my surgery, and I think this has calmed down a bit. And if anybody listening has got like a chronic disease or they're struggling with anything like that, I think I need to remind myself of this, but it really isn't your fault. And I felt like I had done something wrong, or like I wasn't eating well enough, or like I hadn't exercised enough.
I get
and
it.
like, but you know
It's not
what?
in your
Like,
hands.
it's not.
It's
and
not in
like
your
you
hands.
can be the, you know, like athletes get cancer, you know,
The
marathoners,
healthiest
you know,
people in the world that get cancer, for
have
example,
heart
and you're like,
attacks.
how?
And it's like, it's kind of that thing of, I think my journey with, that sounds so like wanky, but like my journey with my illness has been like to be more self-accepting and to be kinder and like take a bit more rest.
Yeah.
I don't think you should ever like be a victim, and you should let yourself wallow in it.
Yeah.
But you also need to be kind and be gentle and like supportive.
Like
and
some days I'm gonna feel like shit, and that's okay as well.
it doesn't mean that
I don't have to punish myself because I'm feeling like this, because obviously it's not like your fault at the end.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing about endometriosis. Like it's a very, very tricky disease, and it's one thing that works for me won't work for you, and vice versa. And
It's
like
crazy.
it's a journey. It really is a journey of like what supplements work. Veganism might be horrific for you if you have endo, because it might make you go to the bathroom too much, and that might aggravate your endometriosis. But for me, that works. So, you know, it's because it presents in such different
There's
ways.
not like a rule for it. It's not like
It's
you
why
do
it's-
you do 1, 2, 3 and you're gonna get a result.
Exactly.
That's
or
why
like
it's so
take
tricky.
this pill and it will cure it, and you'll never have any pain, and you'll be able to get pregnant. No, it's not like that. So
Hopefully in the future, like I think like, you know, technology, well, not only technology, like science and all of that, the science is getting like better and better with time. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe will be like a better solution, a better like
one thing I will say
in the
is
future.
that if this was a male disease, there would be a cure by now. This affects
Probably.
that many women, and there is no cure. It's just like live with it and suck it up.
I mean, it's not like I don't know, it's not like a feminist rant, but I feel like personally, I don't understand why women, they don't got like a day off from work because when they have the period. Like, I imagine myself like bleeding out myself. I won't go to work. It's like, leave me alone at least one day. You know, it's on top of that, you have endometriosis. Like, what the fuck? So, you know, like, of course, let's not go there
You're
in this
super
episode.
sympathetic,
But
though.
yeah, it's true. Imagine, I wouldn't go to work. It's like, fuck you.
I would, you know, my life
Like-
would be so much easier if I had a day. If on day one of my period, if I had a day off work, because
I don't
can't
understand
tell
why
you,
that
like,
happened. I don't
trying to
understand.
have your normal life. Trying to have your normal life with a regular period is hard enough. Trying to have my normal life where I'm working like 8 to 9 hours a day, and
At
you
the
have to put like
office,
a good
blah,
face on,
meetings.
and you're in pain, and like even
No.
at home, I don't know how I did it in the office, because even at home where I can like wear tracksuit bottoms and like I have my
And you're
hot
fine.
water bottle,
Yeah.
it's really, really hard, and I think it's really draining. But you're right, like women are so strong, and
Truly hard,
Yeah.
to be honest. And well, at the end, they're also pushed to be like that, which is sad.
yeah,
You
very
know,
true.
like it's sad that
it's not an option not to be.
it's not exactly. It's very sad. It's not option not to be
Yeah.
strong because you have to. So it's a bit like, you know,
So true.
well, because
But
this-
yeah, I hope that was informative for any of you. And
was
please, if
very interesting,
anybody
yeah.
listening, if you do think that you have endometriosis or any of these symptoms that you've heard about, please do reach out to us, and do
Yeah.
reach out to me. I'm clearly extremely open about that kind of stuff. So
don't forget to tag your video here so people
Yeah.
will like. I think it's a really
exactly,
good video.
it goes into more detail about that. But yeah, don't be like ashamed or anything embarrassed like
Never,
that.
guys. Never be ashamed to whatever you feel. If you feel it, it's
Exactly.
for something. So just
Yeah,
feel it
and listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Yeah,
It knows all the answers.
It's true. Boom, boom,
truly.
boom.
But I think that's about it. Let's,
guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I like that we're still on the like Women's Month theme. Somehow we're still falling into the forever. We're gonna change the description of podcast to feminist podcast. Exactly. We're gonna be like, like militants. Like sign up.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's good. Like
definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
As always, please
Claire, remind our audience to
like, comment, keep us up on the algorithm, subscribe, share. I don't know why I can't remember.
It's like so creepy. It's like it's like that voice is gonna be in everybody's like ears like tonight when they're going to sleep. It's gonna be like I didn't like it. Well, maybe it works. So you better share it with your friends. We haven't
done it for a while, so I forgot. But you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. All of that. Algorithm.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Remember to follow us to subscribe to your YouTube channel, to recommend to your friends. We have also like a Facebook page now. I don't know if we have said about this. So we got a little extra content there on our Instagram, which is always popping.
Exactly.
And we're always creating new content. Some good stuff is coming to our Instagram next week. So... we have special videos coming, so just everyone's gonna be like skip.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, we're going now.
Let's vlog them. Okay.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Bye guys. Have a nice weekend. Well, week.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye. Take care.